Hello Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Capricorn, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. We're going to see how the both of you are currently viewing this relationship and how you guys feel about it and what actions you guys plan on taking each other's direction and or moving forward. So with all that being said, Capricorn, let's get started. How does Capricorn currently view this relationship? Okay, Capricorn. So we do have the Three of Wands, we do have the Three of Pentacles, and then we also have the Seven of Cups out here. For some of you, you could be dealing with a Scorpio, possibly another Capricorn like yourself, or a Leo. Doesn't necessarily have to be the case though. But in regards to how you're currently viewing this relationship, I want to start off with the Seven of Cups really quickly. This to me just kind of feels like an energy of you having a lot of options, or possibly even a lot of people that are extremely interested in you and want to get to know you and build a relationship with you, things of that nature. But I feel like there's one person in particular, like out of all of the people that you have pining after you, I feel like there's one person in particular that you do see a lot of potential with, that you do feel very, very drawn to. This person might be somebody who lives at a distance from you. Typically when I get the Three of Wands to the Three of Pentacles, this could, it could be a strong indication that you could have met this person, online. I am definitely getting that for some of you out there, that you could have met this person online, either which way, regardless of how you met the individual, okay? I am definitely getting that there is someone here out of all the people that, are extremely interested in you. There is one person in particular that you feel very, very drawn to and very, very interested in. All right, let's look at this person. How does this person currently view this relationship with Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? Okay, ooh, okay. I mean, I could see why you like them. We have the Five of Wands out here. We also have the Emperor, and then we also have the Nine of Cups. Whoever this person is, it's definitely somebody who knows exactly what they want and exactly what they're looking for, which I really do like about this person. They also come off to me as somebody who could even be extremely successful. The fact that this person is showing up as an Emperor, this could definitely imply that this person might run a business or own their own business. I am definitely getting that. But yeah, they come off to me as somebody who takes very good care of themselves, very career oriented, very driven, and very, very ambitious. I am getting that. With the Five of Wands coming out here for this person, I feel like this has a lot to do with like dating. I feel like this has a lot to do with dating. I just kind of feel like for this person in particular, when it comes down to essentially dating, I just kind of feel like this person hasn't necessarily had the best of luck, is basically what I'm getting. And it is primarily because this person is very, very picky and very like selective. Like, this is not that type of person that's going to invest all their time and energy towards somebody that they don't see potential with, or who don't have, what it is that this person truly wants and desires. So when it comes on to you, they are very interested in you. They really, really do like you. They do look at you as somebody who does fit what they're essentially looking for, within a person. But I'm gonna be honest, due to like, dating, at least for them, not necessarily being the best, experience. I kind of feel like this person is not allowing themselves to get too excited just yet when it comes down to you. But this doesn't really have anything to do with you. This does have a lot to do with like, like their dating history. Like, they'll start to like find themselves really liking that person, and that person, ends up leaving them on red and they never hear from them again. Or they just don't put as much effort as they do. You know what I mean? So I just kind of feel like even though this person really does like you, they're just trying their hardest to like not get too excited or get their hopes up just yet, because just given everything that this person has been through since they started essentially dating, it just hasn't been the best experience when it comes down to them. So when it comes down to, just overall the experiences that they've had with the people that they've came into contact with. So in their eyes, it's like they're really hoping, you know what I mean? That you're not going to turn around and leave them on red. They're really hoping that you're not going to like turn around and not invest the amount of time and energy they're investing into you in this dynamic. You know what I mean? That the two of you share with one another, but only time will essentially tell. It's kind of like the epitome of hoping for the best, but like preparing for the worst. How does Capricorn feel? Okay, let's see. Okay, so We do have the Two of Swords. We do have the Ten of Swords. We also have the Two of Cups. And then we also have the Seven of Pentacles. So let's start off with this energy really quickly here. So I do see you investing a lot of time and energy towards them and your relationship with them. And the more you invest time and energy towards them and your relationship with them, the more your relationship with them starts to grow and evolve, right? That's not the problem though. The problem is that there's a part of you that's unsure on whether or not settling down right now is something that you want to essentially do. There's a part of you that kind of feels like you may not be ready for a relationship just yet, like you essentially thought you were, because I am definitely getting that in the beginning, a lot of you thought that you were ready for a relationship. You thought that you were ready to finally settle down and, you know, find the perfect person for you. And I feel like you basically found that, aka this person that you currently find yourself connecting with, that you do see a lot of potential with. But now that things are starting to like progress and get more serious between you and them, with the Two of Swords to the Ten of Swords, I just kind of see you getting cold feet all of a sudden. I just kind of see you falling into this energy of essentially feeling like, okay, wait a minute, maybe I'm not really ready for a relationship like I thought I was. Now, even though you're falling into this energy of like getting cold feet, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to turn around and, you know, self-sabotage a relationship or anything like that. I just kind of feel like reality is starting to kind of sink in, and you're starting to kind of find yourself really questioning if you're actually ready, you know, for a relationship with this person or not. Because I think that you know what's going to happen here. The more time and energy you invest into this person, into this relationship, the more likely this relationship between the two of you is going to essentially, reach higher levels of commitment. So I feel like this is kind of why you're really questioning now, whether or not you're ready now, before it even gets to that point where, you know, they're pushing for more out of you in this dynamic the two of you share with one another. How does this person currently feel? Okay, so we have the High Priestess, we do have the Ace of Swords, and then we also have the Ten of Swords. Okay, so this does have a lot to do with this person's past and very little to do with you. So just, you know, keep that in mind, okay? I want to focus on how they're currently feeling about their relationship with you before I dive into this energy over here. So with the Six of Wands to the Wheel of Fortune, they do feel like this dynamic between the two of you is totally heading in the right direction. This person, you know, basically feels really good about you, and this dynamic that the two of you share with one another is basically what I'm getting. Now, I don't really see this person in particular pushing for a serious relationship between the two of you just yet, and there's a reason behind it all. So with the Ace of Swords to the Ten of Swords, that's kind of telling me that in a previous dynamic, this person was betrayed and or deceived in some way, shape, or form. Now, these are things that maybe this person hasn't necessarily shared with you just yet, or this could be things that this person might find themselves sharing with you very, very soon, either which way. Because this person was betrayed and deceived by someone in their past, it has caused this person to develop massive like trust issues is basically what I'm gathering. So trusting a person is not an easy thing for this individual to do. And because this person has trust issues, I do feel like it has definitely caused this person to kind of like slow down when it comes down to, relationships that they essentially get into. So instead of like rushing things, right? It's like they're deciding to take like a whole new approach. It's like this person's deciding to really take their time and really get to know that person, before they go off and jump into like higher levels of commitment with that person. Because I am definitely getting before, it's like this person used to just trust people blindly. And it's like the moment they found themselves falling in love with that person, they would just jump all over that that opportunity and just run off into the sunset with that person. But this time around, it kind of looks like this person's very determined to do things differently. So it's not to say that they don't want a relationship with you, because I am definitely getting that this person does. I just kind of feel like they just want to be 100% certain of you. They just want to make sure that you're somebody who's loyal, trustworthy, big on commitment, big on loyalty. You're not that type of person, that's gonna like betray them or deceive them one day or give up on them one day or abandon them one day. Like they just really want to take their time to really, really get to know you is basically what I'm getting before, they try to push for more out of you in this dynamic that the two of you share with one another. But just them going based off of everything that they know about you thus far, they are essentially feeling like you are somebody that they don't necessarily have to worry about. You are somebody that they can trust. You are somebody who's not going to turn around and, betray them and deceive them. So I am definitely getting that the more this person gets to know you, like truly know you, the more they start to find themselves feeling like, okay, like this might just be my person. So it kind of looks like you're gonna have to really figure out if settling down right now is something that you want to do, or a relationship right now is something that you essentially want, because I do feel like it is only a matter of time before this person pushes for more out of you in this dynamic that the two of you share with one another. Okay. All right, let's keep going. What actions will Capricorn take towards this person or moving forward? Oh, wow. Okay. So we have the Five of Pentacles, we have the Justice card, and then we also have the Ten of Swords. The bottom of the deck, oh my gosh, we have the Devil. And then we also have the Strength card, and then we also have the Six of Swords. Okay. Yeah, this to me just kind of feels... this to me just kind of feels like an energy of you essentially feeling like you're not ready for a relationship like you thought you were, is basically what I'm getting. And it does have you, wanting to walk away from this dynamic here, between the two of you before it gets to that point where this person's wanting more out of you in this dynamic that the two of you share with one another. So before this person even gets the chance and or opportunity to push for more out of you in this dynamic that they share, with you, we already see you making the attempt, to basically get up and walk away from this person. And I feel like it has a lot to do with everything that's coming up to the surface for you, Capricorn. Like, let's just say you are somebody who struggles with like a massive fear of intimacy. That could be coming up to the surface, causing you to feel like, oh, I guess I'm not ready for a relationship like I thought I was. Let's just say that you're somebody who has trust issues. Like, that could be coming up to the surface, causing you to think, believe, and feel like, I guess I'm not ready for a relationship like I thought I was. Like, something's coming up to the surface on your behalf that's leading you to think and believe that you're not ready for a relationship. And it is tied to past traumas. So that's why I was just kind of naming like you having possibly trust issues, fear of intimacy, things of that nature. It's unfortunate because this person is showing up as an emperor and you're showing up as an empress. The person that's in the Strength card is the Empress, making it a true pair situation here between you and this person, which just goes to show how compatible you guys actually are. So I don't see you walking away from this relationship because you're not compatible with this person. I don't see you walking away from this relationship because, they're not your type or you're not interested in them. Like, I see you walking away from this relationship because of the things that are coming up to the surface for you on your end. But like I said, it is tied to like past traumas and stuff. What actions will this person take towards Capricorn or moving forward? Oh, shit. Okay. So we have the Page of Pentacles. Oh, damn. We have the Page of Pentacles. We have the King of Cups. And then we also have the Six of Cups. So this is the energy this person's harnessing prior to you deciding in the end to just get up and walk away. With the Page of Pentacles coming out here, this is how this person basically perceives you. They perceive you as somebody who is trustworthy, somebody that they don't have to worry about, somebody who's not going to turn around and stab them in the back, or betray them and or deceive them. And because this person's perceiving you as somebody who is trustworthy, they feel safe and secure enough to let their guard down with you. They feel safe and secure enough to allow themselves to essentially go there with, with you emotionally speaking. So with the King of Cups to the Six of Cups, that's kind of telling me that because this person's letting their guard down, and because they do feel safe and secure enough to go there with you, emotionally speaking, we do see them forming a very strong and intense emotional attachment to you in this dynamic that the two of you share with one another. So as this person, more of the story is falling for you, we do kind of see you falling into this energy of, oh snap. Yeah, you see, that's the thing. It's like, I'm not really ready for this like I thought I was. I'm not ready for this like I thought I was. Like, this to me just kind of feels like something's coming up to the surface on your end that's leading you to think and believe that you're not ready for a relationship, and it is tied to your past. It's like your past just won't let you live. Like, everything that you've been through in previous relationships, it just won't allow you to be happy again. It just won't allow you to build and establish, a life with someone else. It just won't allow you to. But with the Strength card coming out here, Capricorn, that's kind of telling me that when it comes down to like whatever's coming up to the surface for you on your behalf, that is basically rooted in past traumas, right? These are things that you can overcome. These are things that you can essentially make peace with. You just got to want to like overcome these things and make peace with, you know, whatever it is that you experienced in previous, you know, relationships with other people. But you just got to want to like face this head on and conquer all of this. So that way it's not continuing to like haunt you or affect you, but most importantly, control you. Because all these past traumas that you've experienced, it's still affecting you and controlling you till this day, to the point where it's prompting you to want to walk out of a really, really good relationship with someone that you're extremely compatible with, if that makes any sense. Okay, but the choice is entirely up to you nonetheless. But I am definitely getting that when this does happen, you know what I mean, when this does happen, I feel like this person is going to find themselves essentially feeling the same way that they essentially felt with everybody else that they ever got excited over. You see what I mean? Like, because like I said, prior to you, this person will find themselves really liking a person, and that person will like, you know, ghost them or leave them on red, or just, you know, just do something on their end to self-sabotage things, you know. And they kind of feel like you're kind of putting them in that predicament all over again. And I don't feel like you're, you know, doing all of this because you're just here to like, you know, waste their time or play games with them or anything like that. Like, I just kind of feel like there's legit certain things that are coming up to the surface for you that are causing you to fall into this energy of, well, I guess I'm not ready for a relationship. I guess I'm not ready for this. I guess I'm not ready for that, because look, this is coming up to the surface. That's coming up to the surface. Now, when you start to pull away and retract your energy from this person, mind you, I don't see you having a conversation with this person and telling this person like, hey, by the way, like, you know, X, Y, and Z is like coming up to the surface for me, and it's causing me to think, believe, and feel like I'm not ready for a relationship. Like, I don't even see you having that talk with them. Like, I just see you kind of pulling away and retracting your energy from them, and they're going to feel it when you do. They're going to totally feel it. And when they start to feel you pulling away from them, they're going to try to like reel you back in. And I don't blame this person for trying to essentially reel you back in. I mean, this is somebody who is emotionally invested here in it, and they are forming an emotional attachment here, you know, to you and their relationship with you. So it makes sense as to why they're running after you and why they're trying to essentially reel you back in. But in regards to like how you're going to respond and react to all of this, well, we have the Knight of Wands to the Magician to the Eight of Pentacles. So that's kind of telling me that when this person does try to reel you back in and run after you, I do kind of see you getting sucked back into this entire situation all over again with them. So you're not really walking away. You're not really walking away is basically what I'm getting, like, officially in the end. Because I do see you getting sucked back into this entire situation all over again. And the only reason why you're allowing yourself to get sucked back into this entire situation all over again is because this is somebody that you can see yourself, you know, coming together with and building towards a life with, and manifesting, you know, and creating, you know, a relationship with this person, you know, into fruition. At the end of the day, it's not that you don't want this person, because you totally do. It's not that you don't see potential with this person, because you totally do. I just kind of feel like there are certain things that are happening on your end that are causing you to think and believe that you're not ready for a relationship. And that's what's causing you to want to get up and walk away, because of these things that are coming up to the surface for you. But just because you have these past traumas of yours that are coming back up to the surface for you, as far as like your fear of intimacy, you know, abandonment issues, trust issues, whatever have you, is it a sign, you know, from the universe, you know, telling you like, hey, listen, you know, you got these problems over here. So, you know, with that being said, you're just not ready for a relationship. That's not what the universe is trying to essentially convey to you. I feel like what the universe is trying to essentially convey to you is that there's certain things that you haven't necessarily fully healed from and or moved past, that you really need to essentially heal from and essentially move past. And once you're able to essentially do that, your past is not going to have any sort of power and or control over you like it has been. And if you were to just face it head on with this individual by your side, these are things that you can totally overcome and not continue to allow to haunt you or affect you or have that power and or control over you. But all of this stuff that's coming up to the surface is not the universe telling you, hey, you're not ready for a relationship. So don't think that. Don't go off and think that, because this is coming up to the surface for you, that you're not ready for a relationship. This is just the universe highlighting to you that, hey, listen, like, these are things that you really need to like work on, and you really need to address, and you really need to kind of face head on, so that way it's not continuing to haunt you and or affect you. And you could totally do all of that with this individual by your side. You could. You totally could. But if you allow these past traumas of yours to lead you into thinking and believing that you're just not ready for a relationship, you can go off and get rid of this human being if you want to, but love is always going to come knocking on your door. And when it does, you're going to find yourself back at square one, feeling like you're not ready, feeling like, I guess love is just not on the cards for you. Here's my thing. Why I'm telling you that if you were to essentially face this, head on within your relationship, with this person, you will essentially overcome whatever's currently coming up to the surface here, for you. And here's why I say all of this, okay? When it comes down to the things that are coming up to the surface for you, Capricorn, it is revolving around a really bad experience that you had in a romantic relationship. Now, if you were to go off and pursue them in a life with them, you will see for yourself, for one, not all men are dogs, and not all women are beeps, okay? So in your head, let's just say that you've always dealt with men. You might think in your head, like, all men are liars, all men are cheaters, all men are this, all men are that. But this relationship is going to highlight to you that that is just simply not the case, okay? Causing you to see for yourself, right, that you don't have to have a fear, of being vulnerable again or loving again, things of that nature. But there's certain things that that I feel like that are going on your behalf that really does revolve around something that you went through within a relationship. So let's just say in your last relationship, you got cheated on. Now you think if you allow yourself to even get into a relationship with another person, you're going to get cheated on again. Well, these are things that you can conquer and overcome throughout the course of your relationship with this person, because the universe, as well as this person, this relationship, is going to highlight to you that just because your last person cheated on you doesn't necessarily mean that they are, nor are they going to, is basically what I'm getting. Because these things that you need to face and overcome, you can't technically speaking do it being single and alone. You can't. That's kind of like the epitome of you wanting to like overcome like a fear of flying and never getting on a plane. Going to therapy about it, you know what I mean? And talking it out with your therapist, but never actually getting on that plane to like actually overcome that fear that you have. Which I think, like, if you were to go to therapy, that would be awesome, as you're, learning to kind of navigate everything that's coming up to the surface while you're with this person. I think that would be definitely beneficial for you. But these things that you need to overcome, Capricorn, you need to be in a relationship with somebody in order to overcome it. And it kind of makes sense as to why the universe is sending this person in particular into your life, because you're not dealing with somebody who's here to waste your time. You're not dealing with somebody who even wants to waste their time. You're not dealing with somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they want. You're not dealing with somebody who, just wants to like, fuck around. You're not dealing with somebody who's like that, okay? And in order for you to like overcome all of these things that you went through in your previous relationship, you kind of need to have somebody, like this by your side in order to essentially overcome all those things. This is kind of why I feel like the universe brought this particular person, into your life. Because if you have a massive fear of flying, you can go to therapy all you want and talk about it all you want, but until you get on that freaking plane and overcome that fear of flying, and you keep doing it over and over and over again, you're going to overcome that fear of flying. You just got to face it head on. But, remaining on the ground and talking to your therapist about how you have this massive fear of like flying is not going to help you overcome that fear unless you face it head on. Hopefully that makes sense. Like, hopefully that makes sense. Because for some of you, you could have a huge fear of getting like abandoned, for example, by this person. Well, or anyone at that. Well, you need to put yourself in that predicament first to overcome that fear. You have to. You have to. You just have to. That's what I'm saying. When it comes down to the stuff that's coming up to the surface specifically for you, until you face it head on, this is going to be a forever issue that you're going to find yourself essentially having. So if you don't get on that plane and overcome that fear of flying, you're going to forever have a fear of flying. And I want you to be very realistic here, okay? Like, just because I'm just using the whole plane as an example, but if you do have a massive fear, of flying, the first time you get on that plane, you're going to be fucking terrified. I know I was. And then the second time you get on that plane, you're going to still be scared. And the third time, you're probably still going to be scared, but just a little less scared. And if you keep doing it over and over and over again, you're going to conquer that fear. You're going to conquer that fear. And this is kind of why the universe is, bringing this person to your life. Because when it comes down to the things that you're needing to essentially face, these are things that this person can help you out with, for one. And in order to overcome these things, you have to have somebody. You got to have somebody like in your life, because these things that you're having a difficult time facing and overcoming, it's revolving around things that you've personally experienced within a romantic relationship. Is basically what I'm getting. So that's all that I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, you have the power and the ability to overcome this, but you're not going to be able to do it being single and alone. You're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to do it. You're just not. You would have to have like somebody in your life in order to overcome these things, whether it's like a fear of intimacy or being vulnerable with another person. Like, you're never going to overcome this fear of being vulnerable with a person being single and alone and isolated. It's just never going to happen. You're going to forever have a fear of being vulnerable with another person. You see what I mean? In order to overcome that fear of you being vulnerable with another person, you got to be vulnerable with another person. In order for you to essentially trust a person again, you can't just isolate yourself and never trust a person and expect to learn how to trust a person again. That's just not how this works. You got to put yourself in that predicament to learn how to trust a person. And it starts with, you allowing somebody to get so close to you to the point where you can learn how to essentially trust. That's how you learn how to trust a person again, by allowing yourself to essentially go there. But if you decide to isolate yourself, you know what I mean? And everybody back off. Everybody stay away from me because I don't trust anybody. Like, you're going to forever have that fear of trusting a person. You see what I mean, dude? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated. And I will see you guys here next.